Welcome back to the Grimdark Book Club, where we explore the stories, characters, and chaos of Warhammer 40,000's Black Library. I'm Greta Horsch, and I lived in Vervunhive. And today, we're diving into Necropolis, the third book in Dan Abnett's Gaunt's Ghosts series, a title often hailed as one of the strongest entries in the entire saga. In Necropolis, Abnett takes us to Vergast, a vital industrial hive world in the Sabbat World's Crusade. Here, the city of Vervunhive comes under siege from its neighbor Ferozoica, led by the enigmatic Heritor Asphodel. What unfolds is a harrowing tale of siege warfare, political intrigue, and human resilience in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. Let's break this down, starting with the setting and story. Unlike the planet-hopping adventures of First and Only, and the character vignettes in Ghostmaker, Necropolis focuses entirely on a single large-scale conflict, the Siege of Vervunhive. This shift in storytelling allows Abnett to dig deep into the world-building, vividly portraying the Hive City with its towering spires, sprawling tunnels, and teeming population. Abnett masterfully brings the Hive's chaos to life. The intense fighting takes place on the walls, in the streets, and even in the skies, creating a gripping narrative that immerses readers in the horrors of siege warfare. One thing that sets Necropolis apart is its darker, grittier tone. This isn't just a war story. It's a brutal exploration of the cost of war. Graphic depictions of violence and the psychological toll it takes on soldiers and civilians alike make for a harrowing read. Abnett doesn't shy away from the tragedy of war. Civilians caught in the crossfire add emotional weight, emphasizing that in the 41st millennium, no one escapes unscathed. Themes of political betrayal and the randomness of survival further underscore the grim realities of the Imperium. One reviewer even mentioned having nightmares for weeks after reading this book. If that's not a testament to Abnett's storytelling, I don't know what is. One thing that sets Necropolis apart is its darker, grittier tone. This isn't just a war story. It's a brutal exploration of the cost of war. Graphic depictions of violence and the psychological toll it takes on soldiers and civilians alike make for a harrowing read. Abnett doesn't shy away from the tragedy of war. Civilians caught in the crossfire add emotional weight, emphasizing that in the 41st millennium, no one escapes unscathed. Themes of political betrayal and the randomness of survival further underscore the grim realities of the Imperium. One reviewer even mentioned having nightmares for weeks after reading this book. If that's not a testament to Abnett's storytelling, I don't know what is. One of the standout features of Necropolis is its richly developed cast of characters, which elevates the novel beyond its action-packed plot. The story delves deeper into the personalities and motivations of familiar characters, while introducing new faces who play pivotal roles in the siege of Vervunhive. At the heart of the narrative is Gaunt, the legendary leader of the Tanith First and Only, who is put to the test in ways he's never been before. As a Colonel-Commissar, Gaunt's leadership style is built on his unyielding belief in the soldiers under his command and his ability to inspire loyalty. In Necropolis, we see Gaunt face new challenges that force him to grow not only as a military strategist but also as a political leader. The political intrigue within Vervunhive's command structure puts Gaunt in a difficult position, where his ability to navigate betrayal and incompetence becomes just as important as his combat skills. His growth throughout this book marks a turning point, as he realizes that leadership is not just about battle tactics, but about managing the complex and often murky world of politics and alliances within the Imperium. Gaunt's unshakable moral compass, however, is tested as he has to make tough decisions that will have lasting consequences on both his soldiers and the citizens of Vervunhive. Ripper Val, the rough and resilient Sergeant Major of the Tanith First, is a fan-favourite character who plays a prominent role in Necropolis. Val is a seasoned soldier, known for his straightforward approach to leadership and his fierce loyalty to Gaunt. While his combat prowess is unquestionable, Val's development in this book also highlights his humanity. He grapples with the harsh realities of war, and his experiences on the front lines serve to deepen the emotional weight of the story. Val's relationship with his comrades, especially with the new recruits from Vervunhive, demonstrates his role as a mentor figure, providing a solid contrast to Gaunt's more strategic leadership. Val represents the backbone of the Tanith First, showing how the regiment is built. Not just Rawn, the cynical and hardened soldier, continues to be a key figure in Necropolis. His blunt and often sarcastic nature masks the deep-seated trauma he carries from previous battles. His character arc reveals more about his internal struggles, and we see him move from a somewhat detached, bitter soldier to one who begins to recognize the importance of unity and purpose within the regiment. The Tanith First and only as a whole receive more attention in Necropolis, with several soldiers stepping into the spotlight. Characters like McCall, the brilliant tactician, and Barek, the loyal yet naive soldier, each add layers to the narrative. As the regiment faces the full brunt of the siege, these characters must adapt to the devastating conditions. In addition to the familiar faces, Necropolis introduces us to new characters who bring fresh perspectives to the story. One of the most significant new arrivals is Lord Heimlich Chas, a disillusioned nobleman from Vervunhive. Chas's role in the story begins as a somewhat reluctant ally, but as the siege intensifies, his character reveals complexities that make him a crucial part of the narrative. Chas represents the civilian and aristocratic classes that are often overlooked in war stories, and his character explores the impact of the siege on those who are not soldiers, but are nonetheless caught in the crossfire. Another notable new character is Commissar Gaunt, initially presented as a hero during the first stages of the siege. Cowell's political ambition and Necropolis also takes a significant step in humanizing the war by focusing on the civilians of Vervunhive. The citizens of the Hive are not passive bystanders in this conflict. They play an active role in the siege. Characters like High Master Salvador Sondar, the man in charge of the city's defense, are shown to be deeply flawed, making decisions that have dire consequences for the people they are supposed to protect. Sondar's incompetence and eventual betrayal underscore the novel's theme of leadership and the consequences of poor decisions. The narrative's exploration of these civilian perspectives adds a new dimension to the story, showing the emotional and psychological toll the war takes on those caught in the middle. The people of Vervunhive, some of whom will become part of the Tanith First. Overall, Necropolis excels in character development, with its rich tapestry of personalities, from the seasoned veterans like Gaunt and Val, to the newcomers like Lord Heimlich Chas. The relationships between characters evolve throughout the novel, and their individual arcs contribute to the book's themes of sacrifice, loyalty, and the grim realities of war. The growth of the Tanith First and the new bonds forged in the crucible of battle highlight the regiment's transformation into a family. and Gaunt's leadership is constantly challenged, forcing him to evolve as both a soldier and a leader. This complex character development is one of the key strengths of Necropolis, making it a standout entry in the Gaunt's Ghosts series. Let's talk about some standout moments. The destruction of Vervunhive by a nuclear weapon highlights the devastating scale of the conflict. Gaunt's infiltration of Sondar's palace, aided by the nobleman Lord Chas, is another unforgettable sequence. Using a System Slayer artifact to restore the shield is a brilliant narrative twist that showcases Gaunt's resourcefulness. But Necropolis isn't without its flaws. Some reviewers criticized the abrupt ending, feeling it didn't fully explore the aftermath of the siege. Others found the large cast overwhelming, with so many characters that it was sometimes hard to keep track. Still, these minor issues don't overshadow the novel's achievements. Necropolis represents a turning point in the Gaunt's Ghosts series. It expands the scope of the narrative, deepens the characters, and lays the groundwork for the epic storytelling that defines later books. For fans of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, this book is a must-read. Its detailed world-building, intense action, and emotional depth make it a standout, not only in the series but in Black Library's entire catalogue. So, there you have it. Necropolis by Dan Abnett. A dark, gripping tale that reminds us why the 41st millennium is no place for the faint-hearted. Have you read Necropolis? What were your favorite or most haunting moments? Let us know on social media or in the comments. And don't forget to follow the Grimdark Book Club on YouTube. Until next time, remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Thanks for listening. See you next time.